Hey gang, how y'all doing? So as you can tell from the title of this video, I had the crazy idea to build a Last of Us world, but in Minecraft. And now you might be thinking, but why? Why do this alone, all by myself? And to that I say, why not? However, the idea of trying to speedrun the building is, well, yeah. Let's start with Last of Us Part 1, Chapter 1, Hometown. Also, I was trying to do this in like 2 weeks, but spoilers, it took me 4 weeks. First, let's do... Alright, so I'm gonna just start with the front of Joel's house. Alright, so his house has like a garage on this side. And he has a porch, so let me add that in real quick. And there's like a side bit on the left of the house that kind of comes like this. And the house is like yellow paneling, so I'm gonna use birch. And the porch has some white columns on it, so let me add those. Actually, I don't think it's wide enough, so let me make it a little wider. And there are like stairs here on the porch, and the wall extends a little further from the door to the garage. Alright, I'll just add this column. Actually, now I think it's too wide, so let me just... And then there is one more column in the middle there. Yeah, perfect. So there's a window right here, and let me just add some depth to it with stairs. Okay, that looks good. And there's also a window here too. Actually I think it's a door. So let me just... Okay, yeah. And I'll add the roof onto the porch. And it has a white trim on it, so I'm thinking maybe trapdoors. Yeah, that looks good. I sort of wish I could put it here too, but the fence is in the way, so whatever, I guess. And this part over here has the same trim. Oh, yeah, no, never mind. Alright, let me just do the garage real quick. Oh, how do I... Oh, okay. So there's like a white trim across this part of the house, so I'm going to do that with pale oak. Okay, never mind, I hate it. Let me try moving it down, maybe. Nope, that's even worse. Let me try planks, maybe. I think the roof has to come down a bit. No, still awful. I think maybe it's just too thick, so let me try trapdoors. Nah, that looks weird. Maybe slabs. Oh, nah. What the hell? That looks so bad. I'm just gonna get rid of it. And then just worry about it later. Anyways, moving on to the second floor. Let me just put the wall in. Okay, so now that that's all filled in, I can put the windows in. And they have like white shutters. Oh, and the stairs. Okay, I guess it looks okay. Yeah, whatever, okay. I'm just trying to figure out the layout right now, but whatever, I'll do the other one. It's like right in the middle of the garage, so there we go. And then just need to add the glass and shutter. Actually, how high is this floor? 4 blocks, so let me make this one taller. And then I'll move the windows up too. Yeah, okay. That's not bad. Actually, let me change these windows a bit. Okay, sure. Now I'm just gonna put in the driveway, and I'm gonna assume it's made out of like pebbles, so I'm gonna use gravel and stone. Yeah, okay. That looks fine. Alright, let me just shorten this a little. So the floor in our house is like a dark wood, so I'm contemplating spruce or dark oak. Yeah, I like the spruce more. Okay, so now that I have the floor filled in, I'm gonna lay out the living room furniture and stuff. So the couch is like right here, and actually there's a wall right here. Okay, the wall is actually not that color, it is red, so... But yeah, there's space for the stairs right here. And let me just finish the layout. Okay, so the stairs come in like this. And the wall comes out to here. Actually no, hate that. Let me just add the banister in. No. Let me just add that back. Yeah, okay, that'll do. Okay, and now for these walls. Obviously I can't have this be a different color, so I want these to be close to the game and also match with the birch. I was thinking maybe a light blue. No, the walls in the game are darker. So maybe like a darker blue. Okay, so this is the color I chose, and I think it's the closest it's gonna get, so moving on. Now we can do the dining room and kitchen areas, so let me just add in some more floor right here. Okay, so for the layout, they have a kitchen table right here. Okay, I'll have to add more floor. Okay, yeah, I think that looks good. Oh, also I changed some of this up. Anyways, for the kitchen, the tile is like a light color, so I'm debating between endstone bricks and terracotta. Alright, the terracotta is not the color I thought it was going to be, so definitely the bricks. Let me fill that in and do the layout. Okay, I'll go back to that later, but now it's time for this little hallway in Joel's office. So there's a wall right here, so I'll add that in. And then there's a glass door right here, and then just some stuff framing the door on either side. Yeah, okay. Then there's like a lip on the wall. I don't know if I like that. It's kind of thick. Maybe if I put it all around the wall. No, that just looks crazy. I'll leave that part for now, cause whatever. Okay, so this is floor. Well, actually it's like white. And then there is gray carpet in Joel's office. Okay, so this is the layout of the office. Hold on a second, let me add this wall. Okay, so this piece needs to come out some because you can't see this room. Okay, maybe that'll work. Let me just make up an outline for this room real quick. Okay, so I'm thinking maybe it's like a storage room or something with like shelves here or something. I don't know. But I added these walls in. This door is like broken open. Nah, I don't like the way that connects. Never mind. I wish there was a way I can make this look more broken, but whatever. Okay, so there is a back porch, so let me add that. Okay, everything is kind of hard to see back here, but there is a lattice, so I'm considering either oak or spruce trapdoors. Okay, so I like the oak much better, so now I'll just add the roof on. Okay, so I've got the little trim on here. Let me see. Well, no, never mind. But yeah, that's the back of the house pretty much complete, so let me do the second floor. Okay, so this is the wool I'm using for the second floor, and I'm realizing that this is more like the carpet. Okay, so there we go, and I think that looks much better. Oh, and I added a layout for this room. But back to the second floor. Okay, so I have some of the floor in, and it's 1 block higher than I thought, so I have to move these windows up one. And I think I'm going to put the roof up one as well. Okay, so with that, I'm just going to do the layout of the second floor now. Alright, I have the wall layout in. These doors are supposed to line up, but the way that the walls are laid out and the layout of the bathroom, I can't have this door in the middle, so since there wouldn't be enough room for the shower and stuff, it's just gonna go here, so let's ignore that. Alright, so I've just laid out Sarah's bedroom. She has a closet here, and this side is Joel's closet. But yeah, I'm just gonna lay out the rest of the upstairs really quick. Okay, so this is Joel's room all laid out. I'm pretty sure this is an ensuite bathroom, which is bigger than like the main one, but yeah. And there's no room over here, so I'm gonna just put the wall in and then do the roof. Okay, so I'm not really sure how I'm gonna roof this part, but alright, so this is what I have. This is, you know, a nice slope, and then this is kind of like I don't know, kind of disgusting. But yeah, I'm not really sure what's going on, but I think that might be the outside done. Actually, no, never mind. I think that this part of the house is like pushed back, so hold while I fix that. Okay, so I definitely think that's a lot better. Fix the proportions on this, and also made the office a little bigger. So that is the inside layout finished now. I'm just gonna finish up the exterior details of the house. Alright, so moving on to the interior, I figured that we could just start with Sarah's room in a quick little time lapse. Okay, so this is what I got for her room. She's got like a hamper and a mirror and a bunch of posters and things, and some curtains and knickknacks or whatever all over the place. And I also did the closet, even though you can't see it in the game, with like shoes and clothes and stuff. So yeah, that's her room. Okay, now on to the bathroom. And there we go. We got a bathtub and, you know, towel and the mirror, which I also put into Sarah's room. Yeah, because I remembered about looms. But yeah, and a toilet, pretty simple, you know. And then there is the shower with, you know, shower head, bottles, whatever. But yeah, pretty simple interior for this part. Now onto the hallway, which doesn't have much to it. Just some paintings, a table, a couple plants, whatnot. So let me just... Boom, there we go. I added a light because it's going to be pretty dark in here with shaders. But yeah, there's like a thermostat here, and then this other table. And these curtains, which I used the loom to get a really light blue because the light blue banner was too dark. And yeah, so that's that. On to Joel's room. And there we go. I put a plant here since you can't really see behind his door. And then there's like an exercise machine with like a plaid shirt on it, which I tried to make with the banner. Then like a bookshelf, dresser, clothes, hamper, and then another closet again. Oh yeah, this guitar. There's a guitar case here, but I wasn't sure how I was gonna make it look like a guitar case, so I just made a guitar with like banner, armor stand, whatever. And then the bathroom. He's got a pretty bougie bathroom, but the same type of toilet, sink, shower, but with a shelf. And yeah, that's Joel's room and the second floor done. Okay, so for the downstairs, I'm just gonna fill in the ceiling first. Okay, so now I'm just gonna add some basic interior. Okay, so now for the living room. Alright, here we go. I thought about adding shoes on this thing, but it seemed like too much work. And now I think that it might be coming along, but yeah, there's a rug and a couch and a big chair and whatever. But moving on to the kitchen. Boom, okay, there we go. We got this desk and stuff, and the kitchen does look very acacia colored. And, oh, actually I forgot the curtains, so hold on. Okay, so now I'll do this table in the little hallway. And there we go. We got this rug and stuff. And also this is open, even though it's not in the game, just because I feel like it looks more like a door, and also I could access the backyard. And oh, I realized that this was a window here, so I put that in. You know, a plant and a little cupboard here. Oh, and I also did add the trim because it doesn't look as crazy now with the slab roof. So yeah. And then finally, the office. There we go, pretty simple. Oh, I realized there was a trim, so I added that. And then there's some Tupperwares and stuff. Okay, so that is the interior of Joel's house completed. So I just started off with adding all the things on the front porch. Then I moved to the side for the gutter, AC, and power box. Then in the back, I had to fix the porch and added the bike grill, cooler, and shovel. Then I actually made the shed that is back here, which is way too small, and I changed it later. And I put a tree that I built in a test world because trees are actually the bane of my existence. And it would have taken me literally 30 years. And then I put a tire swing on it. Then I terraformed a little bit around the house, and then I fixed the driveway because it was too light, and I textured the ground, which I also changed later because it's too brown. Then I added in the bushes that are in the front of this part, but then I immediately destroyed them because I did some more terraforming. Oh, and would you look at that, more terraforming. And I also added this fence, which took a while. And then of course immediately changed it because it was wrong. I added the street in off camera just as a placeholder, and I connected the driveway to it and made trash cans, and I added a gutter in the truck. Then I went to the back of the house because Joel's apparently working on a car back here, which, let me tell you, the bane of my fucking existence. You saw just before, and you will see later, that this is the only car fully built on camera because it took me like 30 fucking minutes, bro, to build this one car. Anyways, then there is, of course, some more terraforming. This hill next to Joel's house and where the neighbor's house goes. Off topic, but I literally had a dream that I forgot one of the houses, even though it doesn't exist. But yeah, anyways, I added some foliage and trees. And honestly, thank God for Axiom, because this would have literally taken me like 5 years. But yeah, so then I went in and added grass. And this is also where I changed the brown to be more green, because Joel's lawn is quite lush. And then, yep, changing the shed because the car was like twice its size. And then just adding grass to the forest, which absolutely lags my game out because it dropped like a billion seeds. And then I was done.
Several hours of terraforming later.
Okay, so as you can see here, I added the dormers that are on Joel's house because I looked at the picture in the chapter selection screen. It also shows that there's a window on this side, but we all know there isn't because the bathroom is here and there's no window in the bathroom. But whatever. Maybe I'll add something later on. And I also added in the road and kind of did the whole layout of the chapter. At least where you can see. Except the town, I'll do that later. But yeah. I did some of the rows that you can't see just because I'm not sure how I'll connect all the chapters together later. But yeah, now I'm just gonna add in oops, spoiler alert of what is to come because the render broke. If you couldn't guess, it's a shit ton of trees. But yeah, I just went around here adding trees all over the place. Then around here I did the dirt too, and I went in and textured it just so I didn't have to go in and add a bunch of grass later. And I also added dense bushes. And basically all I did was painted a bunch of trees and leaves. So yeah, let's move on to... So for Joel's neighbors' houses, I made them all in a separate world just so I could copy and paste them all, since they aren't really that important in the chapter, so it would just be kind of lame to watch me build them. But yeah, I went in one by one and added the houses in, and then the surroundings like driveways, fences, trash cans, etc. In this house I added a shed in the back, and then I went and fixed up the porch and added all the little details around the house, like the bench and the boat and the swing. And I also added some bushes here and there because the area is quite dense between the houses. But yeah, all this was pretty monotonous. I added this carport, an RV, and another shed. And this house probably had the most stuff with the cars and the bicycles. But yeah. And I added in the rest of the trees now that I knew exactly the layout of the houses. And also I added power lines. Let me tell you, these wires were the bane of my existence. Part 3. I tried a lot of different ways to make the wires, and I just ended up using chains and slabs since I felt like even though they were harder to make connect, it wasn't as big and bold as something like fences would be, since I didn't want the focal point of what you see to be the power lines. But anyways, yeah, I had to change them like 10 times, so let's just leave it at that. Then I just finished off by going around and adding grass and ferns and bushes everywhere. But yeah, with that, we can move over to... So Luce's farm was probably one of my favorite builds for this chapter. I started off by making the crop fields and adding the house, then made the windmill and the water tower, I think it is, both of which I have never built before, but I thought they came out pretty okay. Then I added a fence around the entire farm, which took quite a while. I went in and added the hayfield and the big hay bales, and then I also made the bigger water tower in the back of the farm. Then I did the other side of the farm, which is the barn, which I also built in a different world, and I should have originally built it diagonally because I had to do some tweaking after Axiom shifted it for me, but whatever. And I added Lewis's tractor and the chicken coops on the side of the barn. Then I added this grain silo, and that was that side complete. Then it was time to add the fire. Since the fire is such a big part of the farm area, I wasn't just going to use the one block Minecraft fire. So I used frog lights and glass to get this effect, and I also thought this would look the best with shaders, and I thought it came out pretty good. So here is the finished farm. It was really satisfying to break the house down and then add in the fire, which I think came out really well. It definitely could be better, but for my first attempt at something like this, I thought it was good enough. But with Lewis's farm done, we can move on to the... Okay, so obviously I built the hospital in another world, but that did not stop me from having major problems with it. So this clip isn't that long, but let me tell you, I went back there like 5 times to change the hospital's position and also just completely get rid of the parking lot that I made. But yeah. I guess I could have looked more closely at the reference pictures that I took, or just took better ones, but swiftly moving on from this, we can build. Alright, now this is sort of when I realized you watching this video might want to actually see more of the building process of this world, so enjoy me building this bland-ass shopping center and using World Edit to make my life 10 times easier. Yeah. I thought it came out pretty good and definitely looks like the one in the game. But with that done, it's on to... So, starting with the town, obviously, I was just doing an outline with wool to see, you know, how many buildings I actually had to make and how many were reused or whatever. But it turns out there is a lot of individual buildings in this town, and in fact, I had to reuse some wool after using every color of wool and then also concrete powder. So, yeah, if that gives you a little bit of an idea of what I went through with this, you'd be correct. But then I just went in and, you know, started building the buildings one by one. You might notice with my building in this video so far that I'm kind of all over the place, but I thought I did a pretty good job trying to make this time lapse, you know, satisfying by staying on one side of the street and not going crazy with the back and forth all over the place. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed that. I did that for you. But yeah, not really much to say about these buildings. You know, I had pictures of them. They're pretty bland. I'm not really adding too much texture or detail onto them right now. I'll do that later. Well, not texture, but I'll add like signs and stuff. It'll come together, trust, okay? But yeah. Then I got to the point where I could start copying and pasting the buildings. Obviously there were some new ones that I had to make, but yeah, it was a lot. It was. So I just built, and that was about it. But yeah, this gas station was kind of hard to build, not gonna lie. I changed it up a couple times, but yeah, then we're just on to more buildings. I've got to say though, this donut shop that I'm building right now, definitely my favorite building that I built. I don't really know why. I think it's just because it looks really good. But yeah. Oh, look at that, more building. Yeah, I don't really know. It's just, it was a lot. Oh, and fire, yeah. I don't know, guys, what do you think about the fire? I think it looks really good. But yeah. Okay, now we came to some issues because this alleyway did not line up with the buildings at all. So I just had to, like, mix and match Frankenstein the buildings together to make them look sort of like what it looks like in the game. And even then, like, I don't know. So let's just not look at it from the wide angle. But yeah. More buildings. And I'm almost done, don't worry. But yeah. Probably the most important buildings now, the alleyway, and then also the cafe. Yeah, I do change some stuff up in my little off-camera work, but that's pretty much it. So here is the town. Obviously it's not very filled out yet. Well, I mean relatively it's not filled out. You know, I still gotta do all the streets, but it's definitely coming together. I can't say it looks great right now. I'm hoping it'll look a lot better with shaders, but yeah, I'm just gonna go in off camera and fill up all these empty areas and hopefully make it look somewhat like an actual town. And yeah, like add some buildings over here. There's some buildings, but yeah, I'll see you in a second. Okay, well that definitely wasn't a second for me, but yeah, everything's pretty filled out now, you know, out of the cars and stuff. One thing I will say, I definitely had to Minecraftify everything, you know. You'll notice that the cars are like 5 times the doors or whatever, but yeah. I'm just gonna move on and work on. So I started off this area just, you know, doing the rocks that are kind of framing the road. I'm not sure if it's a road. I mean, obviously there's an ambulance on there, but whatever. Maybe it's just a path, but yeah. Honestly, the rocks are kind of pretty for what happens here, but maybe it's just because it's my first time doing rocks, but I don't know. Whatever. Adding these trees, they were, again, the bane of my existence, especially because there's like this random truffula tree right here. Like, what is going on? But anyways, I digress. Then I did some terraforming. You'll notice it just popped up right there because I got pissed off and I just paused the recording. More rocks, wow, would you look at that. Oh, and then I deleted the rocks, of course. Then I added, yeah, some bushes, started working the bridge, and yeah, the bridge, I like how the bridge turned out. I think it definitely looks like the bridge in the game. So, I mean, obviously that's what I was going for, so it's a win in my book. But then it's just a little off-camera work, and then the moment you've all been waiting for.
Don't go near the doors, just stand back there. How you holding up, honey?
I'm fine.
driving, Tommy. Stop!
Those people are on fire.
Don't look so. Keep looking at me, baby. Come on! Joe! Move it! Get to the highway! I will meet you there. Hurry!
Daddy, we can't leave him.
It's gonna be fine. We're almost there.
Alright, well, here is the final look at Chapter 1. A little overhead view for stuff that you couldn't really see. But yeah. I don't know, I enjoyed building it. It was definitely a lot. Okay. But, yeah. Definitely with shaders. Oh my god, it looks so good. Like, I'm master builder level with shaders on. Without it, meh. But yeah, I mean, I thought it came out really good, and you might notice some of the shaders, like I put redstone in the brakes, but the shaders didn't make it glow. But anyways, that doesn't matter. Yeah, I'm not sure when chapter 2 will be out because I am currently in school, because it did take me longer than 2 weeks. So, but yeah, anyway, hope you enjoyed. This is yeah, all the builds, all the stuff you couldn't see. So yeah, bye.